everybody. Welcome to the Farzy Show here, presented by Destination Retirement, DestinationRetirement.com. Coming to you live from the Steven Singer Studios on this fine Friday morning. And who would be better to talk to on a fine Friday than the epitome of fun, the man that can break down football like no other, Mr. Hollis Thomas. That's right. He can do both those things pretty well. Break down fun, break down football. Hollis Thomas will be joining us. I'm going to play spoiler. He won't be playing the role of Disco Tank today. Sorry, everybody. But nonetheless, we'll always have a good time when Hollis joins the program. So he'll be up just a little bit, joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Phillies dropped 2-3 to those pesky San Diego Padres. And Howie Roseman, could he be even more greedy than he has been already this offseason? And since we last spoke, the NFL Network decided to give some praise to the great Howie Roseman by sending out this tweet saying, did anybody have a better offseason? And then featuring James Bradberry, A.J. Brown, Jordan Davis, and Hassan Reddick in a post from the NFL Network asking, did the Eagles win the offseason? And I thought to myself, after lavishing praise on Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday, I thought to myself, don't get too ahead of yourself here. Don't get too excited. You know what happens when you start getting excited about an Eagles offseason? You set the bar a little too high for yourself. Disappointment is what follows. And it hurts. It hurts all our hearts. But the Eagles are making just great moves. And it's not just they're adding talent left and right and willy-nilly and all that stuff. It's all stuff that they needed to address, whether that was through the draft or whether that was through free agency, whether that was through trade, whatever it was, these are all holes that the Eagles needed to plug. The Eagles needed that outside linebacker / edge rusher that they could have at the end of the defensive line or coming off the edge as a linebacker, and they got that in Hassan Reddick. They went and they got a linebacker like Nakobe Dean in the draft, who hopefully will fulfill a lot of the prophecies many people have for them and just completely being shocked about how far he fell. They obviously went out there and got Jordan Davis to help plug up the middle of that defensive line and help the future. Speaking of the future, second round, Cam Jurgens, okay, fine. Wasn't Nakobe Dean, but still a guy that looks like he's going to be a hell of a player. And then they also trade on draft day during the first round of the draft for A.J. Brown. What? You mean they got a bigger body wide receiver, one to complement a guy like our beloved Devontae Smith? Way to go, Howie. And then most recently, they go out there and they get James Bradberry. They needed another corner. They did not address that spot in the draft. And now, Howie Roseman, ladies and gentlemen, could be even more greedy. As it appears, Jessie Bates of the Cincinnati Bengals could be on the trading block, as he doesn't look like he's going to be showing up for anything over there in Cincinnati. An all-pro safety. Did I say safety? Yes, I said safety. What's the last remaining piece the Eagles haven't gone out there and upgraded in this offseason? Is it the safety position? And one of the best safeties in the league could become available via trade? Howie right now is lurking in the weeds, waiting to pounce on a deal for Jessie Bates. Now, the names that come up are the names that you've been hearing all throughout the offseason, even around the NFL draft, as far as names the Eagles could be parting with to try to upgrade their roster. Andre Dillard is one of those names. Jalen Reagor is one of those names. More picks obviously could be thrown into the bunch there. If you're able to get Jessie Bates, this is the most complete offseason the Eagles have had ever. Ever. And it's a far different feeling than the feeling you had in 2011 when a certain someone said that the Eagles were a team that was I don't want to say it and jinx the world. The Eagles were a team that you think about while you're asleep. That do it? Is that vague enough? Is that not saying it enough to not jinx it? Knock on wood. I'll do that too to erase all bad juju. What Howie has done to this point this offseason has been incredible. If he adds that final piece and makes that final piece such a talented final piece, an aggressive final piece like Jessie Bates, let there be no more slander directed at the great Howie Roseman. We will speak nothing but praises and sing praises regarding the great Howie Roseman. Already impressing the hell out of a lot of people, making a lot of haters, myself included. credit where credit's due, as I was saying yesterday. Myself included, have a nice little big old crow pie and just be stuffing my face with all the crow in the world. But what you got from Howie Roseman so far this offseason has been amazing. And the fact that the reports are already out there about him possibly wanting more let you know that he's still there, lurking in the weeds for Jessie Bates. He told me, as I was saying yesterday, with the great list of names, we just showed you with the NFL Network lavishing praise on Howie Roseman and the Eagles win the offseason. And I was thinking about this yesterday, even before the Jessie Bates stuff, before I saw the Jessie Bates stuff. I was saying, there's no championships won in May. There's no championships awarded in June or July or even August or, Mr. Training Camp, whoever gets crowned that this year. Last year it was Zach McPherson, friend of the show, Zach McPherson. But for me, I was thinking, there's the old cliche, there's no championships awarded then. But man, if there were, if there was an executive of the year, executive of the offseason award, Howie Roseman would be stacking them up in his office there at the NovaCare Complex in South Philadelphia, right there on the old Packer, or the old Patterson Ave. So for me, I am blown away, and I hope that it continues. And that was before the Jessie Bates stuff came out. If Howie Roseman does land that piece, a lot of people are going to be planning a parade route, basically. And here's the other thing. I felt like going into the Super Bowl year, because somebody tweeted, have the Eagles addressed the punter situation yet? And it got me thinking that I remember going into the Super Bowl year, we were feeling confident about Carson Wentz. We liked a lot of the acquisitions, Chris Long being one of them on the defensive line, getting depth there, bringing in the big bruising back like Garrett Blount in that offseason. And you felt good about what the Eagles had going into that season. And I just remember thinking at the last preseason game, the concern was long snapper. Because if I remember, John Dorenbos was traded, and I remember thinking, well, who's going to be their long snapper now? Are we going to trust whoever the long snapper is going to be? Like, that was the issue. That was your concern going into that season. Like, looking at the depth chart, looking at the roster, what are we going to do about long snapper? Everything else was pretty good. And I remember thinking, if I'm worried about the long snapper or a third-string quarterback, this year is going to be a pretty good year. And there they go on and they win the Super Bowl. NBD, folks, NBD. That's no big deal. No big deal for those at home. Anyway, so that's how I'm feeling about the Eagles right now, and I just want Howie Roseman to be as unbelievably greedy as he can. Go out there and get them all. I reference this a lot. But have you ever seen the movie The Professional? Gary Oldman in the movie. Everyone. Phillies signed everyone. It hasn't worked out so far. But if the Eagles go and sign everyone, oh, man, the hype that'll be going through this city, even more so than already. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hollis Thomas pretty hyped about this team as well. I think the man can evaluate fun. Sometimes he'll play fun police, like people are getting too excited. I don't think people are getting too excited right now, at least by Hollis Thomas's standards, and we'll hear from him in just a minute. Let's jump into that Phillies team for a second there. 2-0 loss, shutout for the second time in this 3-game series. A couple of things that annoyed the hell out of me in this game, and then a couple of things I liked. Let me start with the positive. Kyle Gibson I liked. Kyle Gibson had himself a nice little outing yesterday. Didn't have much of an issue with what Kyle Gibson had to do in that game. Just allowing the 2 runs. Robinson Cano had his first RBI as a member of the Padres, which is a little shocking to me, but that's what he had. But watching that game yesterday, I noticed in the 6th inning, you had runners at first and third with 1 out. Weren't able to play anybody. I noticed in that 8th inning, you had runners at first and third with 1 out. Weren't able to play anybody. And I noticed you got some runners on the base there in the 9th inning, and you weren't able to get a lot done. 3rd inning of this game, you had the leadoff runner on base with Garrett Stubbs having a nice little do you call it a drag bunt if it was just popped up in the air? No? Well, whatever it was, he had that running bunt you can do out of the batter's box there, and he popped it up in the air. It felt like it hung in the air for about 5 seconds. Comes down. He's able to get the first. They weren't able to make the play on it. The Padres weren't able to make the play on it. He's the leadoff runner in the 3rd inning on base, and weren't able to bring him around. Castellanos had a couple opportunities there to give the Phillies at least a run, or maybe even tie things up for them, especially later in the ball game. Wasn't able to do it. he got outshined yesterday by his son, Liam. And if you didn't see this, I think it was in the seventh inning, maybe the eighth inning of the game yesterday. There's a pop-up into the stands, the foul ball, and this older gentleman wearing a very nice fedora was able to field the ball, and he sees, I don't think he knows it at the time, he sees Liam Castellanos, Nick Castellanos' son, in the crowd, and I think he was thinking, oh, let me give this ball to a young man. Let me give this ball to a kid, a young man, young lady, whatever. And let me give this ball to a kid. He sees Liam. He says, hey, here you go. Let me give you the ball. The kid's, Liam's like, dude, my dad's Nick Castellanos. I get all the memorabilia in the world I want. Very nice of you, but give it to this kid down here in front. And the older gentleman in the fedora is like, no, you take this. This should be your ball. And Liam Castellanos is like, dude, you don't get it. Is how I imagine this conversation going. So the older gentleman gives the ball to Liam Castellanos, who then gives it to the other young fan out there at Citizens Bank Park. And I thought that was the coolest thing. Two great things happened yesterday in the stands. The stands were outshining what was going on in the field. Bryce Harper, and this gentleman, I believe, plays at Clemson, plays football at Clemson. He's got a Phillies hat on in the stands. And he starts chopping it up with Bryce Harper from the dugout, who was out of the lineup again yesterday because of the elbow injury. And they start talking. They still go back and forth. Bryce Harper's like, hey, I like your hat. And the fan's like, hey, I like your hat. Bryce Harper exchanges hats with the fan in the front row at the Phillies game, and he's kind enough to sign his own hat before handing it over. The fan then gives the hat to Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper gives his hat to the fan. They exchange hats at the game. And I saw a lot of people joking about, how about exchanging elbows? Yeah, that'd be nice, but that ain't going to happen. But it's a very giving, beautiful moment. And if you're not creating that many beautiful moments during the season, this is, create what you can, whether that be the son of a ball player in the stands or that be a player in the dugout exchanging hats with a fan. Beautiful. Keep those. We've been talking all week about good vibes from the Phillies coming off that road trip. You lose 2 or 3 to the Padres coming back from that road trip in 2 of those games. This stellar offense gets shut out. Let's create all the positive vibes we can if you're not going to, create them on the diamond itself. So there you go. It was a rough one for the Phillies bats yesterday. A couple of different instances. Now, Kyle Gibson, despite pitching well, does take the loss, unfortunately. Again, it was a 2-0 loss at the hands of the San Diego Padres. Kyle Gibson went 5 2/3, 8 hits, scattered 8 hits, struck out 7, and both runs were earned. Phillies now back in action right away tonight as they take on the LA Dodgers for a 3-game set. 7:05 start time tonight. That game will be on ESPN Plus, and on the hill, Ranger Suarez gets the start against Julio Urias. So we'll see how that goes. A lefty versus matchup for the Phillies tonight. Still no official word on when Bryce Harper will be making his return, but man, this lineup needs him. I believe it was Kyle Gibson was asked after the game about whether or not he feels anybody on this team is pressing. Like they got to make up for the NL MVP not being in the lineup, and a guy that hit 3 consecutive home runs in 3 straight games, whether or not they're pressing to try to make up for that bat in the lineup. You look around the clubhouse, according to Kyle Gibson, it doesn't seem like anybody is, but you look at the fact that they've been shut out twice in 3 games, that's a possibility. It's certainly a possibility. Before we get to our friend Hollis Thomas here, let me tell you about the amazing people at Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com, like my man Mike Seibert. He's a retirement income certified professional at Destination Retirement, LLC, and a partner of 1847 Financial. And he's an advisor for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans only, and maybe next year, Flyers as well. When it comes to long-term savings, why are you giving up the current enjoyment of your income? The answer is to have income streams in retirement. It only makes sense then to understand how retirement income streams work so that you can direct savings in ways that give you the highest income when you retire. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Is the objective just to get to the top of the mountain, or is the objective to get up the mountain and then safely back down the mountain? Going up the mountain is your accumulation phase of your financial life. Going back down the mountain is your distribution phase of your financial life. Let's talk about saving for college, for instance. We all know college is expensive. You ever thought about how it will affect your retirement? Well, let Mike Seibert at DestinationRetirement.com show you an efficient way to help pay for your kids' college education while still retiring on your own terms. Your first step is to avoid starting your growth cycle over again by depleting accounts like 529s for big expenses like college. You don't want to lose your position on your growth cycle and have to start over. You can't get that time back. Instead, set yourself up with the ability to use vehicles that you can take money out of without starting your growth cycle over again. Find out how your annual retirement savings can help your college savings and how your college savings can help your annual retirement savings. Michael, set up your own portal and retirement analyzer, then use the software to help you navigate through the different phases of your financial life. For questions or to set up a meeting with Mike, email him at gobirds@1847financial.com. That's gobirds@1847financial.com, or call his office at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. You can also visit his website at destinationretirement.com. And as always, go Birds. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Make sure you check it out. Look at all the beautiful, dazzling, sparkling diamond inventory available at IHateStevenSingerJewelers.com. It's IHateStevenSinger.com, or the other corner of 8th and Walnut when you walk into the store. If you do go into the store, you'll get walked through everything by a real jewelry expert who is there to give you two things: great quality jewelry, great quality diamonds, and the perfect price every day at Steven Singer Jewelers. So you don't have to rush in because there's some sale going on, or there's some promo code to use. Everybody gets a promo code. It's just by walking in. The perfect price every day. Other jewelers like to mark things way up just so when you walk in, they mark it down a couple of bucks just to make you feel like you won something. Steven Singer, you don't got to worry about the negotiating. You don't got to worry about asking. You're already getting taken care of with that perfect price, because at Steven Singer Jewelers, you get treated like family. If you're looking to get engaged, Ready for Love diamond engagement rings standing by at the ready for people looking to get engaged. And if not, that real jewelry expert I mentioned, they'll show you all the dazzling diamond jewelry and engagement rings that they have to offer at Steven Singer Jewelers. So all you got to worry about is walking in there what you want, not what you want to pay. Because at Steven Singer, you know you're going to get the perfect price every day. Do what I do. Check out the other corner of 8th and Walnut for all your jewelry purchases right there at IHateStevenSinger.com, right there at the corner of 8th and Walnut in Philadelphia. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price, online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, good friend of the show, making, let's see, we had Kevin Gandhi come back 2 weeks ago. That was great, a triumphant return. Making another triumphant return to the Farzy Show. One of your favorite all-time Eagles, one of your favorite all-time personalities in the city of brotherly love, Hollis Thomas joins us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. All right. And for those on the podcast and not watching, he's wearing a lovely Pac-Man t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hollis Thomas. What's up, Tank?
Chilling, man. How you feeling?
I feel fantastic. And I got to tell you, you got me all in the feels. I'm gonna flash this picture. I've seen a lot of people. This is from Brian Dawkins' golf outing. I've seen a lot of people post this. Our boy Hugh Douglas posted this. I think you posted this as well. Derek Gunn posted it. This is like so much of my childhood, including you, my friend, in this photo. This is an unreal photo. Yeah, it's Darwin Walker, Jeremiah Trotter, yourself, Trent Cole, that guy Ike Reese that we know. We got Hugh Douglas there, Chad Lewis, Harold Carmichael, Brian Westbrook, D Gunn. How did D Gunn weasel his way into this photo? And is that Willie? Is that Willie T? Oh my God, Willie T! Oh my goodness! How much fun? How much fun was that golf outing, my friend?
It was tremendous because Quick was there as well. Was it Seth Jordan was there, dude? Tim Brown was there, and Eddie George. I know.
Oh my goodness!
Jaworski was there. Merle Reese. Man, it was a great time, dude. But it was like the greatest. But Takeo Spikes was there. Javon Curtis. Trey T was there. Trey T was there the night before.
Okay.
There was a bunch of us there. It was a great time. It was like a reunion.
Wait, hold on a second. Merrill Reese went to a golf course? No way. I don't believe it. That's impossible. Tank, it's so damn good to see you again, my friend. It's great to have you on the program. Of course, people have been saying, when are you going to get Tank back on? When are you going to take back on? I was like, you hold your horses. You hold your horses. How you been? What have you been up to?
Well, as you know, I was in a fight with Spike Eskins again, so I have no qualms or trepidations about saying that. But
your favorite pastime?
Yeah, well, the powers that be. Your old predecessor, he wanted me to come back for his final year, and he was fighting tooth and nail to get me back on. That's why I was trying to just keep everything clean until I got that out of the way. And I just I asked him one time, I was like, you got to let me know what you're going to do, because I'm not going to sit around twiddling my thumbs waiting on you guys, waiting on those guys, and then they just tell you no at the last minute, and I haven't done anything. So I just got back on the horn. I've been just doing nothing lately, but what you just saw, the golf tournament. I'm probably going to get my own podcast going here pretty soon. I've been talking to some people. I won't mention them on your forum. I just really got in touch with them, and I've been doing some picking out which trips I'm gonna go on. There should be an announcement coming pretty soon.
Oh, look at you! Very nice. Okay.
And as you can see, I still haven't got my camera the way I wanted to yet, because I keep looking in and leaning in and stuff. Then I just been watching the Phillies, and I was watching. I didn't know how many games the Flyers had, because every time I looked up, they had another one. I was like, wait a minute, I thought when the playoffs started. And so I was watching the Flyers, because they would go on like a 2 or 3 game winning streak, and then they lose. then they go on a couple of game losing streak, then they win. And then I started watching the Phillies, who started out like a house of fire. But actually, I put the Sixers in there, which is a Sixers game, which is a playoff games and stuff. And they're still getting ousted in the second round. And people are yelling and stuff like, you can just roll a ball on the team and throw 5 guys out there, and they're going to have the straight continuity to build a championship, have a championship go at it, and that's never going to happen. Especially when we don't have a strong bench. When a lot of those guys didn't show up, and they were expecting out of shape. I'm just coming off injury, James Harden, to come in and save us. And with a 10, not a 10-man, but Joel Embiid was being held on by like duct tape and toothpicks right now, because of all the injuries he got. Yeah. And so it just wasn't on time. And it's like when you look at it, everybody keeps talking about trust the process, and the process has got you exactly where you've been getting before the process started, to the second round of the playoffs.
Purgatory.
No. Well, it's not so much purgatory if you do it right. And I was like, I've watched a couple of teams while we were bullcrapping around and losing, and I trust the process. You trust it now? Do you? You still can't get past second round. No. Some of the people that we let go during the process have gotten the title, and have been to the finals, and been on winning rosters. And what do we get? Second round ousted.
Yeah. Well, the question was, how you been?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, and now I'm
great.
Watching basketball playoffs. I've been rolling with the fans. It's like,
how you been? What have you been up to? Yeah, you're right. You're exactly.
That is Philly. That is Philly in a nutshell. For
I miss you so damn much.
But I've been riding away. See, it's like I'm pretty much like most of the fans here in Philadelphia right now. Is when the hell does football season start?
Okay.
All the moves made, and I told you I wanted to come on after I met all the big guys and stuff.
Yes, you did.
And we got a good group. We got a good group of kids. No, we do. And it's like when I say that. Yeah. When I say that, it's like they want to win. They come from winning programs, and a lot of them play together, and they play together more than just in college. Some of them play together as well as in high school, and they expect to win, and they prepare to win. So. We hadn't had that in a while. We kept on putting piece and crap together. Like, I hated to see Alex Singleton go, but I was a little tired of the play of watching on third down. We don't have the speed and the wherewithal to keep up with the receivers coming across the middle to even kick them back to the DBs that's chasing them. And we were on the field. We were not good on third and long. And it's like we were good on third and short, but our third and long defense a lot of people don't realize that middle of the field, it actually means something, especially on 3rd and long, because you hit one of them little fast jokers, and then they get the first down, and now we're out there for another 4 downs. And as a big dog, another 4 downs could be heartfelt, really. So,
well, yeah, that is that answers everything I was going to ask you. So thanks for coming. No, in all seriousness, yeah, you said you wanted to meet everybody first. You did that. You were there at the alumni event. You were there meeting the young guys as well. But I want to go back to this story because I remember you and I were on the air at the same time that the Eagles drafted Bo Allen. And if I remember correctly, he was a 7th round pick, and you couldn't stop talking about how you got to get that warthog. You got to get that warthog. And now they go, you need a young warthog. And this year they go out there and they get Jordan Davis with their first pick in the 1st round, and they handle their business. How excited are you? And what's your early scouting report of Jordan Davis?
Well, I talked to him for the longest though. Actually, I talked to him. I talked to a bunch of the free agents, but I talked to him the longest. he came over there, and dude, watching him not only in college and then knowing what happened in college. I don't know if it's a period where I feel like he knew he had arrived. Do you remember the first time when they played Alabama and they lost?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
And the talks were about him being in shape, about him not being able to play, just being out there. And all Alabama did was ran hurry up offense to make sure when he was out there, he stayed his happy ass out there. And he said, and unbeknownst to me, Hugh Douglas was talking about him on his radio show down there. And I think he had a heart-to-heart with him because then apparently he looked at film and he went and started doing the card like I used to do the cardio and stuff after everybody else is done and making sure that when I'm on the field, I wasn't a liability. I was like, you have to do the cardio stuff because you at 50% or 40% after a couple of plays is not good. It's like, well, if you get your wind up and drop a couple of pounds, it goes a long way. You do it the right way. You do it with doing the cardio, doing your work after practice. You still have a little bit more to do because you have a little bit extra weight to carry. So you do that, and him doing that. That's why you saw a dominating performance in the national championship game against them. He was one of the main reasons. He didn't have to come off the field. He wasn't a liability. And then to see what he did from the end of that to actually when he got drafted, he should have been drafted before the kid Evan, the offensive tackle, because he was talking about how sore he was about the long thing and this and that. To see what Jordan Davis did and losing that weight and losing like about 20 pounds and coming in and running that fast and still having the strength. Dude, we are in for some awesome stuff.
Sounds good to me.
His attitude and stuff is great. He just wants to come in and win. He wants to come in, win, and dominate. And I was like, I just told him, you're a big dog. Everybody doesn't think when you're that size, everybody thinks you're going to eat your way out of it. Eat your way out of the money. That's what I was like, and that's what they're going to say about you. Especially if you start having problems with your weight, you have to come in and prove yourself week in and week out. And because you're a big dog and you got drafted in the 1st round, you're going to be looked at and you're going to be highly scrutinized. And I was like, I was scrutinized, but not like you. You're going to be. I was just undrafted. I was like, every time you see a coach, they're going to be like, hey, come get on the scale for me. It's like, seriously? Not even a high?
Let me ask you about somebody else that had some criticism, so much so that he actually fell to the 3rd round, Nakobe Dean. Were you surprised to see him fall to the 3rd round?
Yes, I was surprised to see, and I was surprised to see us pass over him the first time in the 2nd round. We didn't have a 2nd round pick, did we?
No, Cam Jurgens, the center.
Oh man, I was surprised to see us pass over, but I know he's coming in. I did see Cam beef jerky.
Yeah, exactly. He makes his own beef jerky.
Yes, he has a cattle
ranch.
Cow farm. Cattle ranch. Cattle ranch. Yeah, cattle ranch. But talking to Nakobe, he's in there. He's trying to get it. But somebody they say is Jordan is handling business now.
Okay.
They talking about Jordan. Jordan's handling business.
Okay.
I talked to Brandon Graham, friend of the program. So I was talking to him yesterday at the golf outing, and he was like, Jordan, because I was asking him about the Kobe Dean. He's like, but Jordan, and that speed that he showed on that 40. See, because I wanted to know that too, and I'm gonna get an opportunity to go to a practice. I'll come back on after I go to, because next week they're having OTAs now, organized team activities, and Nick Sirianni invited me over. He said, anytime you want to come over, just call and come over. And all the players was just like, come over. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna pick a date next week, because they go Monday through Thursday on the organized team activities. I just want to see them in there and just running around, because I know I played with Will Smith, the defensive end that got killed. He ran a 4.4 at the combine as a defensive end, and we were practicing one day, and I seen him run. We were chasing the ball, and I was seeing him run past some defensive backs that's supposed to be fast. And he was running by them like nobody's business. So
Wow.
I'm looking to see that from Jordan Davis. But the Kobe Dean, I think we got him. The way we got him, he's going to be hard to stop. Mainly because he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because of what you just said about
falling in the draft. Yeah.
And it's like look at the kid we got out of Middle Tennessee. Is a safety. I don't know if you saw how fast that kid was. He's a white kid. He wears number 12. Him and Carson Strong. Carson Strong. They could get mixed up because they have the same exact build. But the kid out of Middle Tennessee is extremely fast, and we need some stuff like that at safety. They sure. And Carson Strong, he's a little bit of a beast. I talked to him for a long time too. He's from Nevada, so he's from Cali, but he's from Nevada Wolfpack. So I was talking to him about some stuff, and I was there as the good time uncle, so to speak.
Please go on, detail. No,
but they was mostly most of them were asking about where you get a good cheesesteak from. So I'm gonna have my brother put some cheesesteaks together, and I'm gonna drop them off over there for him. So, but
there you go.
But I was thoroughly impressed with and some of the young free agent defensive backs. They were extremely like knowledgeable. Some of them we got from a former coach, Mike Reed, that was there out of Clemson, the kid out of Clemson. Then we got Josh. What's Josh last name? He's out of Alabama. There's another. They had some extremely big defensive backs, and I talked to Nick Sirianni for like 10 minutes, and I was just telling him how happy I was to see a coach here was not nothing against Doug, but I think Doug's hands were tied a little bit more than Nixon's going to be as far as like getting a competition. Because right now we're building a young team, and when you build a young team, competition at every position. We're not giving out participation trophies. That's what I felt like. I felt like under Doug, they kind of hamstrung him, and they told him who was going to be playing it, and then they brought his coaches in. It's like I think they're giving Nick Sirianni the latitude to have competition at the positions because competition breeds winning, and because if you don't do your job, it's somebody waiting to take your spot. And if you don't have that fear, when they say fear that you're gonna have your ass sitting next to the coach, and then the next thing you know, you're out the door because then there's somebody behind that person that's going to be fighting for some spots too. But when you have that type of fear, it breeds you having a good roster, and that's where you truly have the next man up principle. When you have that type of fear of losing your job, dude, ain't nothing like it. You produce a winner.
That's what I've heard. So let me ask you this. What do you see changing, if anything, now that James Bradbury's here, now that Hassan Reddick's here? Whoa! But let me say this. Generally, while we're on it, we'll just go ahead and focus on it. James Bradbury signs with the Eagles, 1 year, $10 million. He's going to play whoever Darius Slay's not lined up against. You gotta love that. How do you not?
You know why you love that too? You love the deal because he's not on one of those deals where I got time to prove I got time. No, you gotta prove yourself this year, or you out of here like next year. It's like, and I think what happened was the Rams did this, and it worked. You bring somebody in that's familiar with the system that you do. You don't give them no 3 or 4 year contract with no bunch of money up front and all that stuff. You prove what you're worth. If you prove that you're worthy of a 2 year contract, a 2 year contract after this, okay. But we're not gonna tie up all the bread and stuff, and then you come in here and start laying and lounging around and stuff. but we don't have a winner. But it also breeds competition at every spot. So if he's not doing his job, I have no qualms or qualifications about sitting your ass next to me. Mm-hmm. So it's but I love the fact that they brought that kid in like the way they did, and he's got a chip on his shoulder as well because they paid him in New York, so they still owe him some money, but he's got something to prove. So because it's only a 1-year deal, unless you want this to be your one and done, that's right. It. So and nobody wants to leave a bad legacy. So I think with this, we will be. Let me formulate this for you the way I formulated it yesterday.
Okay.
We would truly try to be a true top 10 defense instead of being a top 10 defense only by number.
Ooh.
When I say that is because we were top 10, but when we would march downfield as an offense and score, then turn around and give up a damn 12-play drive.
Yeah, right.
If you you have a young offense, you can give them so much. They already got some confidence, but you will build so much of a bully. If I know my defense is going to come out here and smack your people in the mouth and not let you march downfield and score any type of points. Now I'm over here sitting on side. Okay, first down. Okay, there's another first down. There's another first down, and now we're 8 plays into their drive, and I'm lukewarm now. So it's like so if you get a true top 10 defense that comes out there and smacks people in the mouth, get 3 and out, get turnovers. How many interceptions do we have? Like we had no creativity defensive.
Practically nothing. But on that note, then, do you see Jonathan Gannon then being a little bit more dialed up? Recently, Brandon Graham came out and said that he expects Jonathan Gannon to open it up this year with all these weapons. Do you think Gannon will open it up a little bit?
He better. If he does not open it up, you remember? I don't know if you remember when Nick Sirianni brought his happy ass in his office and reprimanded him about the crap that he was seeing. Uh-huh. It's going to be way worse than that. Somebody else might be calling the shots.
Ooh! See, now that's interesting. That's interesting because Jonathan Gannon.
I was going to say, I feel like that's the next way to go. If I give you like last year, you can say okay, you didn't have what you needed to do what we wanted you to do. Now we're giving it to you. What are you going to do with it? Now we should be a true top 10, if not top 5 defense in the NFL. Given what they've done, we went out and we got a young linebacker who's got something to prove. Not to mention we still got TJ Edwards and Sean Bradley on there who've been learning the system. So you should be to coach them up. And not only that, the kid Avery, they had a couple other linebackers that got injured off and on that when they were healthy, they were nice little beasts. And then the defensive front that we put in front of you, if you can't get it done with those guys, and we just gave you a little bit more in the secondary, dude, if you're not kicking ass and taking names, then we need another general. we need another general.
Now here's the deal. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing to me is, even after last year, the defense not being all that impressive, second half of the schedule, they had an easy schedule, and they were great. But Jonathan Gannon's getting head coaching interviews already after 1 year as a defensive coordinator. So if he does have a top 5 defense all of a sudden, Tank, are people just going to be throwing jobs at him left and right next year?
Probably not. I think the thing with that was when they were, I was like, I still don't know why he got any job offers, which I know they were quickly rescinded. And I'm laughing at it's kind of like all in who you know. So I don't know who he knows or who he's got some pictures of, because I still don't know why Cliff Kingsbury I don't know how he got the job in Arizona.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And it's like they were like we were doing what's best for Arizona. So you go and get somebody out of college who can't even get a winning record at his own college alma mater. Mm-hmm. Now the thing that they're saying is that they do due diligence on their search, and with the class action suit that Brian Flores has. Uh-huh. Did you hear the excuse the Denver Broncos gave for reeking of alcohol and not really not taking his interview serious? We had just got in on an all-night flight.
Oh, that's right.
If you were truly taking this man serious, if that transpired, couldn't you have pushed the interview back a little bit so that you look professional?
I do remember that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't. You know, you guys come in there reeking of alcohol with looking. Excuse the language, shit face. That doesn't say you're serious about having me there. And then, but that was their excuse. I was like, please. I was like, don't say that in court because the judge or the arbitrator is going to laugh you, and because he's going to laugh you right out of there. Because you're in control of the interview. All you had to do is if you knew that interview was coming up, and if you were truly serious about that interview. Now the other part of his case about I don't know what's wrong with Miami. First they called. You remember when Des Bryant? You remember when he went? You don't remember when he was in draft process? They asked was his mom a hoe?
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you were something more recently than that. No, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like you already got that on the. So nothing surprised me coming out of Miami.
No, not in the least. I'm legally obligated. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your point.
And these are all allegations. Remember, I'm legally obligated.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So, when Gannon was getting Kellen Moore was getting calls.
Yeah,
you know
right.
Kellen Moore is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, he
the Boise State hero.
God.
So, okay, I'm legally obligated to ask you this question because it's football and the quarterback's a big deal. Jalen Hurts, huge step forward in year 2 as the starter, year 3 overall. What are you expecting from Jalen Hurts?
I'm expecting him to fully get it this year.
Ooh.
I'm expecting big things from him. You got AJ Brown, a guy you was working out in the offseason with. You got a year under your belt with Devontae Smith. That's not Devontae Swing from Jodeci. And you got your boy Jalen Watkins. You got Dallas Goedert. Only thing I'm going to be interested to see is who's going to be the thumper at running back, because I love as much as I love Booby. He's often hurt. He's like that Porsche where the tire's always slightly flat.
Sure.
At the gas station and get some air in it, and somebody's like, "Well, what you doing here with that?" Oh, I got to get some air in my tire. Anybody got some change? So
I'm looking for, not that he's a thumper, but I am looking forward to Kenny Gainwell year 2.
I'm looking for that as well. But I'm looking for that. See, who's going to be that guy that steps up? That's going to be like okay. So Indianapolis last year, what's the kid's name? Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah.
Who's going to be that for us?
Oh,
he had
God.
He had 23 runs last year of 20+ yards. He led the league. And his offensive line, when you have an offensive line, that's how you breed confidence. And I feel like our offensive line, given the opportunity, as I think that we're going to get, because I think the one thing that I think from last year, and a lot of people were, because I laughed at Booby Sanders.
Miles Sanders, yeah.
I laughed at Miles Sanders when one time he ran the ball, and I want to say it was a Kansas City game, and he ran the ball and he got a good run. And he spiked it at the end. I was like, but I was at the Carolina game, where we were after we had got the lead and we were trying to run out the clock. And you ran sideline to sideline 2 or 3 times in a row, running out of bounds, not having a wherewithal. And instead of being a team player, getting upfield or even sliding before you get out of bounds to keep the clock flowing. And then I see the ultimate as a player that you never want to see is when you get to the sideline, the coach being like, "Get in the back. What you doing?" All we saw on TV was this. So I'm telling you what he said. Because the same thing happened when Deuce was here. The same thing was happening with him.
Right.
And it was like he was running. He wasn't running north and south. You always want a guy who doesn't run north and south. As a player on the defense, you want that. That gives me time to catch up. It gives me time to pick a lane to track him, pick the proper tackling angle. When you look at, I want him, if he's going to be that guy this year, I want him. Is he going to stick that foot in the ground and go take what they give him until he can break those? He could be one. He could be one of the guys leading the league in long ass runs. But you have to take what they give you first. Once you take what they give you and your offensive line wear that ass down, dude. Later on in them drives, it's like, oh God, he's gone again. Oh man, and then he'll be gone. But if you keep going left to right, you playing into my hands as a defensive lineman. I want you to go left to right. I don't want to chase you 7-8 yards downfield. That gets tiring. But but that's some of the battles I'll be looking at. And I definitely want to see Beef Jerky, see if he's our guy. We have to sign Jason Kelce to another year contract.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we'll see. I know Jason Kelce, and I know Jason Kelce absolutely loves him. Help scout the kid, for goodness sakes.
That's the selflessness. It's like a kid that I said this. I was on Jody Mack. I was on with Jody Mack.
Yeah, sure.
And I was and he asked me about him, and I told him about he's a luxury. He's a Western luxury that we possess, because you don't find many centers with that type of longevity. I go to the Kevin Mawais and the Damani Dawsons of that nature. He should be a Hall of Famer. That's what I mean. When you look at his longevity, look at his ups and his downs, and he's handled everything with class and grace the best way he could. Even I've criticized him, and I've still talk to him. And when I criticize play. I'm not there to get personal. I criticize your play, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I was like, but he's taken all that in stride, and he's gotten better. And then he's still, and to have him scouting the kid that's going to I'm not going to say he's taking his job. He's going to pass the torch to the kid.
Right.
And he picked a quality kid. He didn't pick a Trump. So well, he did, because I saw Stout Guy. I saw Stout Guy. Stout Guy loves him.
Oh yeah, Stout loves him. Yeah,
Stout Guy. The offensive line coach, I call him Stout Guy.
Stout guys. Okay, good enough. Hollis, great catching up with you, my friend. Seriously,
it's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
and I know you like being a dad now. I heard the kids crying in the background last time I talked to you. I don't know what you were doing.
Nothing. I wasn't doing anything. No, my daughter wanted to play with what are they called? Clippers. And I'm a horrible father for telling her no, apparently. So there you go.
Yeah. I hate you, Daddy. Really?
I want my daughter to have all their fingers. What do you want from me? You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever seen the movie The Ringer?
Yeah.
You don't want her to be Avi.
What the hell, man?
You want her to be Avi?
No, okay, yes, true. Anyway, Tank, great catching up, my friend. I'm so glad that you guys got together for Brian Dawkins' event. Great seeing you, great talking to you. Great stuff on the Kobe Dean. Great stuff, obviously, on Jordan Davis as well, and great stuff always. For anytime we talk.
I'm trying to make sure I gave you all the good stuff, because I did talk to the defensive line coach too. He was great too. He's a great guy too.
Where are you getting the cheesesteaks from?
Either 3J's or where you go, Tony Luke's.
I like the sharp provolone.
I told the guys Tony Luke's first, because 3J's is in a nice part of town, so to speak. But 3J's is a place my brother hit me to, and
all right.
But I also get mine from Del Rossi.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, that's a fine, yeah,
and Franco's.
Franco's I've had. Franco's is good. Yeah,
delicious.
Yeah. I don't discriminate. I just have a favorite because I particularly like their sharp provolone.
Oh, well, now are you a fish sandwich eater?
During Lent.
Are you a Popeyes guy?
I time and time again.
Well, Popeyes has got quite a tasty fish sandwich that you should embark on.
Okay, next time.
I can't seem to keep my hands off of them every time I drive by one. I was like, hey, this fish smells fresh. I think I'll go get me a couple. You're
not still doing the bang bang or the boom boom where you get two meals and you're not still doing that, are
you? Who's asking? Are you buying? Well, yeah. Occasionally I will stop there and get the sandwiches, and I'll go somewhere else to get the fries. the fries and the shake. What the hell? Give me one of your burgers.
Hollis Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. Tank, always great catching up with you, brother. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you, baby. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Hollis Thomas joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Tank. God bless that man. While we were running the interview, me and PJ were talking. I actually did Hollis's first show at WIP. His PR guy, Rich Berg, great guy, had hit me up. I have known Rich for a while, and he was like, hey, Hollis is interested in getting radio, any room for him, whatever. So I put him in touch with the program director at the time. And they're like, yeah, let's see if you want to work with him the night before Wing Bowl. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I remember we went to Finnegan's Wake. We had a remote at Finnegan's Wake. God, I miss Finnegan's Wake. I love that place. And I remember they had some band playing there. It was way too loud to do a radio show, but we stayed there anyway. And Hollis came in. And I don't know if I've ever encountered anyone more honest right out of the gate and not shy about it at all. More so than Hollis Tank Thomas when we started things out on that show. And a couple of things I remember taking away from that. One was the loud band. Two, my bike got stolen. I had my bike in the back of my car. Somebody broke the back of my windshield, the rear windshield, and took my bike out. Bastards. Anyway, and then Hollis during the show was telling me how he wanted to see his defense be aggressive. And he took a napkin and a pen, and he just started doodling. And I'm trying to explain to him we're on radio and no one can see this. And he's like, no, but I want you to get the right impression. I was like, okay, whatever. And it was a bunch of lines. It was a bunch of arrows all pointing to the quarterback. And I swear there was 12 or 13 of them. And I'm like, you can only play with 11. He's like, well, find more. And I'm like, okay. But that was one of the major things I remember. And he wasn't the biggest fan of Donovan McNabb at the time. So go figure. But my thanks to the great, the amazing Hollis Thomas for joining us there on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Speaking of Rothman Orthopedics, ladies and gentlemen, come on now. Remember the old you? Remember the one that had to put up with a fickle knee, a finicky hip, or a shoulder that no longer did what a shoulder should do? Well, how about this? The Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you. Back to running, back to working, back to playing, back to walking. Back to living your life the way you want. And with same-day appointments available right now, you can start today at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. Check out RothmanOrtho.com. How about the amazing people at Freestone Farms CBD, the best CBD brand because they farm it themselves with all organic inputs, and they offer you some education to go along with it. I'm sure you've tried other CBD products. Freestone Farms CBD is amazing, and it's the way to go. It's great after a workout, maybe help you put you to sleep as well, help you relax a little bit. It's even what's even more exciting is their amazing menu at FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. That's FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. The menu is something that you'll absolutely love, including new strains like they got the Bayox, absolutely incredible. That clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CD, which is half Hindu Kush, and 21%. The genetics of these guys, absolutely off the charts. They also grow their premium hemp flower in the Garden State with all organic inputs and IPM. There's absolutely nothing synthetic from farm to jar. After harvest, they carefully preserve, and all the plant compounds, they carefully preserve them with a 3-month cure. Perfect. Just one look or smell is enough to let you know it's CBD done right, and that it's the perfect product to make you feel relaxed. How about this? 20% off. You want 20% off your CBD? Use promo code Farzy upon checkout. That's promo code Farzy at FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. That's FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing all your Philadelphia sports fan experiences across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's jump on in to the chat. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Dan. Dan says the Phillies just doing Philly things. Certainly seems like it. Sean, good morning. Dan, hello again. April, Disco Tank on a Friday. It's going to be a good day. We didn't get Disco Tank. I think he was home, but if you notice the curtain behind him, I think he's made some adjustments. So I don't know if Disco Tank was around. Anyone else excited to burn the hell out of tomorrow? Anyone else excited to burn in hell tomorrow? I'll be melting. You're going to Six Flags, Dan? Oof. Yeah, it's supposed to be 96 tomorrow. I'm golfing as part of the live casino down there on the Packer Ave. I'm golfing in a tournament with them. It's going to be a hot one. It's going to be a hot one. It was in the 90s already this week. Past few days, went down there in Carolina, April. Yeah, I'm sure that's toasty. I'm sure that's pretty. Eric, good morning, Eric. Welcome in. Eric Holland, nice to see you. Paul Gaston, or Gaston, I'll say. Paul, welcome in. Mike Fuji, happy Friday to you. John Axelban, what's going on? Good morning. Don Vito, what's up, John? Hope you're well, buddy. Oh, that's nice. John's excited to see Tank. Who isn't, of course. April, Mark, when are we getting B-Doc as a guest? Yeah, he was doing the media tour, man. Hopefully sooner rather than later. We'd love to get B-Doc on, obviously. Dan Schwartz, who's easier to find, Waldo or Brett Brown? Haven't seen anything from Brett Brown. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you haven't seen anything. I've thought the same thing. Or is Doc Rivers just Brett Brown? Let's think about that for a second. Twist! April, everyone else is entranced by Tank's wisdom. How could you not be? Hearing him talk about Jordan Davis only got me more excited about Jordan Davis. And also Nakobe Dean. Good God, y'all. We're going to have ourselves a good time this football season. Sean Gillespie, Hollis is preaching nothing but truth. We can only hope that this Eagles season, they have the mentality which has definitely been missing from the Sixers. Like, it's so funny. A lot of people will excuse it as high school Harry BS. But, man, I know the Celtics just tied things up with the Heat yesterday. We'll talk about that in our morning rush. But, like, you just watch Jimmy Butler, and if that guy doesn't play with the mindset you want every athlete to have, then I don't know what to tell you. I absolutely love that. Because you never doubt whether or not that guy wants it. Like Ben Simmons, you doubted, like, how much does this guy want it? And with a guy like Hollis, you don't doubt that. If he's talking about guys like Jordan Davis or Nakobe Dean and a chip they have on their shoulder, then it only makes you feel better about the way they're going to go about their career in the NFL. Kyle, what's up, Kyle? Nice to have you. Darian, what's going on? Hollis is the GOAT. You're damn right he is. Marquise, what's going on? I'll say 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, kind of seasoned by Hurts. Oh, Marquise. Tell me more. Yeah, Boise State, blue turf, babe. Mullet, shout out to Devontae, Casey, and JoJo. Jim Grassmeter, what's going on? Happy Friday to you. Speaking of mindset, Marquise Graham says Miles needs a different mindset and still needs to get bigger. See, like the big burly running back, like I think LeGarrette Blount is the last one we'll see like that in the near future. I just don't think too many of those running backs are around anymore. The bell cow backs like Jonathan Taylor, certainly. Derrick Henry, yeah, you'll see those guys. Few and far between teams will have guys like that. But I think the Eagles are always going to be a running back by committee type team, especially if Miles Sanders is going to continue to get injured every year. Marquise, Miles is more like LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, comparing the running back style. Absolutely. The guy that we forget about is Kenny Gainwell. Like, I want to see what he could do in his second year. Because Miles Sanders might be on his way out, and Kenny Gainwell might be on his way up. That might be a decent sleeper pick there in fantasy. Probably a guy you can pick up on waivers later. But why not stake a claim to him early, especially if you're just stockpiling running backs later in the draft. Wow, that's the earliest I've mentioned fantasy football. When is it? What day is it? May 20th? Good God. April. You like that Finnegan's Wake reference, don't you? Oh, man. So many good times. Finnegan's Wake. So where I grew up, I always thought this place was in Huntington Valley, but apparently it's in Northeast Philly proper, on the outskirts. There's a place I grew up going to. Like I went there when I was a toddler. There's a place I would go to when I reached legal drinking age called Whiskey Tango. That was a good time. Whiskey Tango was a good time. Finnegan's Wake, really good time. Whiskey Tango, really good time. I remember they had like a club type place in the upstairs. They had like a sports bar in the back with one of the machines that you punch and it tells you how strong or weak you are, depending on who you are. And then they had like a great concert area and billiard area. Oh, man. I forget what it's called now, but I pass it every once in a while. And my wife just looks at me and be like, that was your territory. I'm like, you're damn right. Anyway, Finnegan's Wake, also territory. Anyway, good times at Finnegan's Wake. Mike Fuji, Finnegan's Wake, a black blast from the past. You're damn right. Fast Popeyes fish sandwich flopped right into the convo. Yeah, Mullet, you're right. I think Schwarber just struck out again. Yeah, Jim Grassmeter, he is not having. He had a hit yesterday, but Schwarber was one of the guys that came to the plate it was the 6th inning. He comes to the plate and strikes out. Albeit, I don't think it was a fair strikeout. That strike zone was a little off yesterday. But hey, if you're gonna shut out in 2 of 3 games in a series, I'm not gonna go ahead and blame the umpire. April Whiskey Tango. That was a hot mess. Here's my biggest issue with Whiskey Tango. Not biggest issue, but a friend of mine won like some kind of work event. They won a party for like her and 20 of her friends. And it was like a pizza party and like open bar for her and 20 friends. I was in the top. I made the top 20. So she invites me to this party at Whiskey Tango. Now, Whiskey Tango was like the best way to sum it up. No matter what area of Whiskey Tango you were in, it was a dive bar. It was the biggest dive bar you could ever go in, but it was awesome. And I love dive bars like Oscars in Center City. Absolutely love Oscars. They got PBR on tap, folks. But anyway, met Whiskey Tango. The party started at 6 p.m. I'm at Whiskey Tango on a Friday at 6 p.m. I didn't leave Whiskey Tango till about 2:30 a.m. that following morning, technically. That was a call someone and have them pick you up type of moment. That was can you get me? Can you come get me? This is before Uber. I'm not driving. Responsible thing. That was a hell of a night. April, it was so ratchet. I loved it. How could you not, man? Oh man, Whiskey Tango, Finnegan's Wake. You never know where we're gonna go in the chat check, folks. You never know where we're gonna go. Just bringing back memories. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Eric, every year a couple undrafted free agents make the squad. You have any favorites to make the team this year? Haven't looked too far into the undrafted free agents. Usually right before training camp is when I'll start to really dissect what they got going on. But the tight end convert, I do like, and his name's escaping me right now. I think he had a really bad concussion, fought his way back from it. He's a big dude. Seems like he's got great hands early. That's what I'm seeing so far. I have been following the mini camps and all that stuff, but I haven't jumped too far into the undrafted free agents just yet. There you go. Thanks, everybody in the chat check. You guys are fantastic. Always good catching up. Let's move into our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Celtics stormed back in the Eastern Conference Finals with a 127-102 win over Jimmy Buckets. Miami Heat last night in Miami, so they split the series before they head up to Boston for games 3 and 4. Marcus Smart returned from that foot sprain. Only was an a rebound shy of a triple-double last night. 24 points as he returned. Al Horford also played. Jimmy Butler had 29 points in the game. Celtics controlled from start to finish. And a lot of times you'll see these stats thrown out there about teams, and half the time I'm not impressed by them. But if it's teams like the Celtics with their storied history, the Celtics' 25-point lead at halftime was the largest lead they've ever had at halftime of a playoff game. 25 points. I would have thought that there would have been one of the Celtics teams had like a 40-point lead, but no, 25 points. So that's pretty impressive. Good for them. They even it up. They ship up to Boston for Game 3 tomorrow night. Mavericks and Warriors. Mavericks are down in that series 1-0. So Golden State is leading that series. 1-0 is the better way to say that. They tip off tonight at 9 o'clock, Game 2 of that series. If you missed Game 1, Warriors just shot the lights out. It was remarkable. It was absolutely remarkable. Steph Curry was dancing on the court. He was feeling it so much in Game 1 of that series. So Mavericks and Warriors get Game 2 underway tonight at 9 o'clock in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. I mentioned the Phillies earlier in the show. Ranger Suarez gets to start against Reyes tonight. 7:05 start time in South Philly as they start a 3-game set with the Dodgers. Excuse me. One more thing I wanted to point out. Now, I started the show by talking about Jessie Bates and the possibility of him coming to Philadelphia via trade. A couple of people have pointed out to me that Tavita, I missed you. I'm sorry, Tavita. Welcome in again. Nice to see you as well. The Jessie Bates deal, possible deal. So leave it to us to play internet detective. Jessie Bates liked a post from Pro Football Focus about the Philadelphia Eagles offense. That is as ironclad as it gets for confirmation that he wants to be a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all you need. That's all you need. Howie, go work your Howie magic. Bring Jessie Bates here. Complete the circle in this offseason. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Always a pleasure. Jim Hyden produced the program, did a great job. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by Destination Retirement, DestinationRetirement.com. Coming to you live from the Steven Singer studio. Also, thanks to Hollis Thomas for joining us today to talk all things Eagles and Popeye fish sandwiches. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully the Phillies win a couple of games over this weekend. Talk to you on Monday. Take it easy.